Now your time has come.
All right, thank you for tuning in. It's 5 minutes after 11 o'clock and another great interview to share with you and some good information. Dr. Miles Hall is on the phone. He's the Dental Chief Clinical Director for Cigna, and he's going to talk to us about dental health. The other day, I was looking at something. The state of Florida is doing something that's I don't even know how it dovetails with the whole Affordable Health Care Act, but I noticed that they were including dental care on the dental in the stuff that they're doing. And I don't even know how that all works. I know I've heard horror stories of some dental plans, and then I've heard some when I was a kid. My goodness, all of our teeth were taken care of with a dental plan up in New York. So some are good, some are not so good. Let's find out about this. Dr. Hall is going to talk about good dental health to keep your child's smile healthy. And February happens to be National Children's Dental Health Month. Good morning, Dr. Miles Hall. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. Where are you right now? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. It's a beautiful morning, and hope you're having the same.
We are. It's not too bad right now. Yeah, we've got some rain expected, but not happening right now. Yeah, Cigna is an insurance company, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So am I right about this, that it seems like some dental insurance is... Mine was useless. The one I got a few years ago, I gave it up. I don't even, and I won't tell you who it was, but it was just I went to go use it, and like nobody wanted to accept it. It was so hard. So, is it hard for families with the whole family to try to insure?
I would hope not. We're actually a healthcare company. Cigna has many lines of coverages, and our focus is on prevention. And we have great access to providers so that they get the care they need.
When my son is 27. Robin's two children are already in their 30s. So our children are adults now. But I remember when they were children. Boy, my son when he had baby teeth, he had this procedure done where they were coated. I think the teeth were coated to prevent decay. Is that still done?
Yeah, it's probably sealants, and usually that's put in the pits of permanent teeth as they come in. If there's deep pits, they can put in that resin, and it hardens, and it protects those grooves from getting bacteria and decay into them. So yeah, it's still a very common practice.
But when we hear about all the new technology changes and how everything is advancing, and I'm guessing that applies to dental health as well?
Absolutely. Us dentists, we love our gadgets, but I'll tell you, there's nothing to replace good oral hygiene at home and for patients to see their dentist on a regular basis. Nothing will replace that, of course, for prevention.
I have heard that if parents lay their babies down in bed and then they prop a bottle of milk or whatever else they put in there and just let the baby on their own with that bottle, that's not good for the teeth.
No, it's really not, because even with milk and even juice, that's loaded with sugar, and bacteria love to eat sugar, and they'll create acid, which can damage the teeth. So that is not a good idea at all. I'm glad you brought that up.
And but that happens almost like innocently, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely, and that's part of the focus of the month of February being, the American Dental Association has designated February as the National Children's Dental Health Month, and this is really a chance to focus and make parents more aware of good habits starting at a very young age.
How early should the parent bring their child to the dentist, though?
Now, this may sound surprising, but the recommendations actually are within 6 months of the first tooth coming in. And here's what that visit would look like. Probably the child would be on the parent or guardian's lap, getting used to going to the dentist. But more importantly, the dentist can see if there's any issues to address early, like tips and suggestions like not sending the baby to bed with the bottle. So it's a great idea to get them started young. And if they have this prevention and can avoid other services, throughout their lifetime and have good oral health, then going to the dentist will be a fun, happy place, right?
Do you like electric toothbrushes for children?
I personally love. Yeah, I do. This is my own personal recommendation. I think a power toothbrush is good. I know some parents feel like maybe they just want them to learn the manual process on their own, but there are studies to show that a power toothbrush does improve the efficiency of brushing over manual. But either way, hey, I'm just happy if they've got a manual or a power toothbrush. I'm just happy that they're getting in there twice a day and using a fluoride toothpaste. I mean, that to me is the most important thing.
Yeah, and LBJ used to love giving out electric toothbrushes. The president, President Johnson.
Yeah.
We had that trivia the other day on President's Day. So you mentioned fluoride. I want to tell you something about that. We don't get them anymore, but we used to get calls from people who were adamantly opposed to fluoride. And so we did our little bit of, we're just radio geeks, so we don't know anything, but we did our little bit of research so that we could talk as if we knew something. And the one thing we think we learned was that fluoride is very good as a topical treatment, but not so good to ingest. Do you agree with that?
I think that there's optimal. I mean, obviously, when we use a fluoride toothpaste, we shouldn't be swallowing that. The fluoride in the toothpaste is really intended to be a topical use, like you say, and can help remineralize the enamel. So that's very, very effective. So yeah, I mean, we definitely should not be swallowing our
right. Well, and I guess that's because for a while there were people were opposed to fluoride in the drinking water, like in municipal systems.
Right, and I know there's some controversy around that, and we as a company and me personally, we do follow the recommendations of the American Dental Association, and they are definitely, support the idea that fluoridated water can prevent tooth decay. So I think the most important thing is an individual should just talk to their dentist, and they should find out the facts about their community, what is the fluoridation in their water, and from there they can get good advice.
And if people have poor oral health, that can affect the other parts of the body and make them break down, correct?
That is absolutely correct. There's a lot of studies out there, including some of our own, that really show that, periodontal disease or gum disease in adults can really negatively affect other medical conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, even pregnancy. And if you think about it, gum disease is a chronic bacterial infection. You've got a lot of inflammation, you've got the byproducts of inflammation, and they can go throughout the body through the bloodstream, and they can affect these other organs. So you're exactly right. It's absolutely important that we have good oral health, and that's not even to mention the esteem and the confidence that an individual has when they have a healthy smile, and if they don't have pain or problems with their teeth, they're more productive at work as well.
Right. What do you do as a dentist when you have children who can't grow teeth, or who've, let's say they've had their adult teeth, but for some reason they fell out, got knocked out? Are they fitted with permanent teeth that are not dentures, like the implantable ones?
Yeah, and again, that's going to be obviously an individual treatment plan with the dentist that they're working with, depending on the age, and that a lot of times they'll use a removable appliance as a temporary basis until the dentist feels comfortable that they can go to an implant. Certainly, implants are always a great option.
Before we run out of time, I want to make sure that the primary message you wanted our listeners to receive has been delivered. and if there's a website, we'd love to hear about that as well. Let's start with that. Do you have a website?
We do. I suggest it's Cigna.com/dental-resources or Cigna's Facebook page. And out there's going to be a lot of tips for parents on suggestions on how to help their children with their oral health, and a lot of fun activities for the kids to try and make this a fun event and hopefully get them off on the right foot and started on good oral hygiene habits at a very young age.
Oh, wow, okay. I remember when my son was little, just going back to that for a second, there was a device like a little camera, and the nurse could look inside his mouth, and it was so fascinating for me.
Yeah.
And I remember it was almost like calming for my son, because my son was interested in like techie things, and it was, wow, there's a camera in his mouth, and there's his like the inside of his cheek and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
so you have
awesome.
to be somewhat of a psychologist when you're working with children, I guess, huh?
Absolutely. There's certain things that'll motivate us, but I think, like you were saying, being involved, being able to see their own mouth, and that's what we want, is to instill a sense of well-being and to instill that motivation to say, you know what, I need to brush twice a day, I need to floss. And why do I need to? Because it's going to give me confidence I'm going to be healthier, etc.
All right. And one last question. Are you okay with those floss pick things, or would you rather us get the long string and do the tug-of-war dance?
Good question.
I think any tool that will help you floss and get in between the teeth is great. I actually use a little what they call proxy brush, which kind of goes in between. So either that long strand and wrestle with that, or any other tool that helps you get in between is fine.
All right. Dr. Miles Hall, thank you for being on our show. It's an honor to say that you've been with us, and thank you for doing all the things you do for our teeth.
Very good. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. We will take a break and be right back.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others.